It was a standard Saturday afternoon for the city located in the southern state of Australia. Roughly 50 to 60,000 fans were arriving to fill up the state's biggest stadium for the Australian rules football game that was taking place. Fans flocked to the stadium to see their favourite stars in action as the players began their pre-game warm-up. Some would get a better view than others, with corporate boxes available as well as a famous standing area for those loyal followers of the team. Anticipation grew as the time grew closer for the game to begin. Joining the thousands of fans was a family of 4, a mother, a father, as well as their 2 daughters, aged 11 and 4. The game began, and there was an intense atmosphere both on and off the pitch immediately, with the home team getting off to a good start. At 3/4 time, the 2 daughters of the previous mentioned family decided to go to the restroom. The father approved this as he wanted to give his 11-year-old a bit more responsibility. So he and his wife stayed in their seats. The final quarter began and the intense atmosphere relaxed a little as it looked like the home team was going to get the win. 30 minutes passed and the win was confirmed. Fans began leaving the stadium pleased with the result. But there was an issue. The 2 girls who went to the restroom at 3/4 time had not returned to their seats. They simply vanished. Despite extensive searches for the 2 girls, in the days after the match they were not located. The parents, as well as the general population, started to fear for the worst. A general consensus in this matter was that the girls had been abducted by an unknown assailant or assailants. In the days following, there were multiple calls to the police detailing how they saw a man leaving the stadium with 2 young and distressed girls. A composite sketch was drawn up and released to the general public, hoping to generate more tips. As promising leads began to come in, dead ends followed. Time quickly passed and there was no more information coming in. The case was shelved and became cold. Fast forward many years later, and to the parents' heartbreak, this case was still never solved. The police had an issue. They had a lot of cases that were left unsolved over the years that had gone cold, and they were trying to generate renewed interest in these cases in order to gain new leads and hopefully solve them once and for all. That's when a discussion took place, which led to a new campaign to solve these cold cases. The police concluded that although the general public can assist in unsolved cases, there's a group of individuals who are more likely to have crucial information that they're not sharing. Prisoners. Decks of playing cards were distributed to inmates of various prisons throughout the state. On each of these playing cards was a victim of an unsolved crime. They would detail their name, age, and race, and go into details of why their crime was left unsolved. It was hoped that this initiative would lead to inmates communicating with one another and some secrets being told, which will later be communicated to the police force and then eventually lead to the case being solved. The 2 girls that went missing at the stadium would end up featuring on these cards, as well as other notorious cases. One famous one in particular, the Beaumont children, were featured on these cards, and in fact many people believe the perpetrator of that crime was also responsible for taking the girls at the stadium, though this is unproven. Unfortunately, this initiative has not been successful in solving the crime of the 2 missing girls, but there's still hope. It's now been almost 50 years since these events took place, and one can hope that one day these girls' assailant can be brought to justice. But for now, he's still out there, somewhere.